Hi! Today we're starting this two-part series on how to create an iOS app mockup. And for that, I'm going to be creating this, we can call it a social pedometer app, where you can keep track of how many steps you're taking each day and how your friend's doing. And it's a very simple 4-screen app. We have a little tab bar here on the bottom. So we have a main view, a top chart, your friends view, and your profile view. And that's it. And because I want to cover the whole process that I use, today we're going to start with the very beginning, and that's the idea itself. And then we're going to do some wireframing of the app. And next week, then we'll finish it off, the whole design. So let's jump into it. I actually like to start my design with just pen and paper. That's how I found that my brain works the best. So only after I'm done and I'm happy with the final layout and overall appearance, then I'll jump to Sketch. So when I open Sketch, I already have a pretty good idea of what I want to design. So in this case, I already have pretty good idea of how many screens and how I want them to look like. So let's actually jump into it. So I'm going to open Sketch, and I'm going to File and open a new from template. I'm going to choose iOS UI design. And as you probably already know, we already have here on this page, this symbols page, we already have some good UI elements that we can use. So as you can see, some labels and buttons and a status bar, all of that. So actually, I'm going to delete this page, and I can delete this. So let's start. I'm going to be starting by just creating an artboard for each screen. So I'm going to press A, and I'm going to choose iPhone screen, and I'm going to call this the main view. And I'm going to create another one. I'm going to call this one the top chart. So these are my 4 screens, right? That I already know that I want this for. So let's just start with the status bar. It's pretty obvious. So I'm gonna go to symbol because we already have status bar, and I'm gonna choose the black one. There it is, and I'm gonna actually press while holding Option. I'm gonna click and drag to duplicate. So I'm gonna create one for each artboard. By the way, so in this stage, we're doing this wireframe. We're not going to be spending too much time thinking about colors or the images or icons or typefaces, all of that. Just the purpose of a wireframe, just to get a feel of how it's going to look. So what I like to do is I'll replace every button, every icon with just a circle. And every images, I'm not going to be adding any images, just a placeholder for it. And I actually don't use any color. I'm just going to stick to black and white. So let's add a tab bar, symbol, navigation, tab bar. There it is. Again, do the same thing. Right. And so we can see that these icons are usually 50 by 50. So let's actually create that 50 by 50. So that's where it's supposed to go. And I'm actually going to delete all of the icons because we're not going to be using them. And now we have 5 items. I just want to have 4. Here you go. Okay, so we have the wireframed tab bar, and if we zoom out, you can see that because it's a symbol, the changes spread across all the instances of those symbols right now. So it's the same on every artboard. Okay, so now on the main view, I want a giant step count here on the top, and I want a progress bar, you know, for your daily goal, and then I want some friends avatar profile picture here with their respective current step count. All right, so let's do that. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the fonts or the typefaces or whatever. Just for layout purposes. So I press Command G to group them, and I'm gonna press Command R to rename that, and I'm gonna call this the step count. And I'm gonna make this centered. There you go. And now I want like a separator, but it's gonna be used as a progress bar right here. So a rectangle. Maybe 30 pixels high, something like this, right? And this is going to be the total area. And now I want just the fields area, so I'm going to create another one. 30. By the way, this is not centered. There you go. I'm going to remove the borders. I'm gonna make this pure gray and this one a darker gray, right? Something like that. There you go. And actually, this is okay. A little trick. So I want the progress bar to be accurate. So right now we have this many steps for this total goal. So if you do a little math. All right, this is probably right. Yeah, 466, sure. So 466. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Okay, there you go. Again, I'm gonna group this. I like to have this neatly. I'm gonna call this the progress bar. And actually, I want it to be the same distance as this is the same distance to the status bar. So I'm gonna say this is 60 pixels. And same thing for this one, right? Okay, and now just a list of my friends with their face, their name, and their step count. Okay, it's gonna be easy. So again, all the images, I'm just gonna do some placeholder. So a circle. And then I'm gonna add this little button where you can boost the morale of the person, whatever, just like a like button or whatever. So again, as I told you, all the buttons, icons, everything is gonna be just a little circle. That's how I like to do it. So I'm gonna select both of them. I'm gonna make them aligned vertically. Can remove the borders. There you go, something like this. So I'm gonna group this. I'm gonna call this friend progress. And now I want to do it. I'm gonna create a grid. I'm gonna say I want this to be I don't know, 6 rows with I don't know 100 pixels apart. I can do the 0. I have to do 1. Sure. Okay, make grid, and there you go. We have all this. We have this list right now, so we don't have to type all of that. So we don't have to duplicate that. So just gonna push this forward to be on top. Okay, There you go. So this looks okay for a wireframe, you know. Okay, let's jump to the top charts. This is very simple. So I'm gonna have just like a tab bar on top, so you can switch from daily to weekly, monthly, or just all time. And then we have a list, pretty much like this one, a list of your friends with their respective step count. So let's do that. You should probably know, like, if you're designing an app, the minimum distance of an element to the edge of the screen should be 20 pixels, minimum. So it should be 20 pixels. So let's do that. Let's add actually those 20 pixels, like so, and then select all of them. I'm gonna align them vertically, and I'm gonna space them evenly. Okay. And then I want a separator, just like an indicator of which one is selected. We can do that by color, with color, and we're going to do that as well. But I'm going to add just a line. So I'm going to check the width is 107. Do the same width, 107. 107, okay. I'm going to make it a little thicker. Okay, this works. So let's actually make this a little lighter. Okay, and then again, just a list of the friends progress. So we can actually, I'm going to select all of this. We can actually group this and call it friends list, whatever. And I'm actually going to duplicate that and use it here. This one was working from home. Okay, so actually we're done. We're done with this one, and now we're gonna go to the friends view, and this is gonna be a grid of just your friend's face and name, and with a little navigation bar on top, the default iOS one, with a button to add new friends, imported from Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and a button to edit to friends. So let's do that. Let's go to symbols, because we have all those UI elements right here. So we're going to navigation, a nav bar with, and if this is too small for you, you can actually, you don't know which one do you want, well, just go to the symbols page and you can check out how they look like. So okay, so let's do the grid. So as I told you, a cell of the grids is going to be the profile picture and the name of the friend, and that's it. Very simple. So let's create a circle for the picture, and I'm going to stick with the 100 pixels because that's what we're using in the list on the other screen. So I'm going to keep using that like so, and add a label below with the name of the person, right? I have no idea why this is blue. Okay, let's do the label a little smaller, 30 pixels. Yeah. Okay, so this is a cell. This works. I'm gonna group them, call it cell. So right now I'm going to select the cell, and I'm going to use the tool make grid, and I'm going to say I want let's say 4 rows, 100 pixels apart, sure, and 3 columns. Well, let's say 100 as well, and let's see how that looks. Well, actually it looks okay, Right, so I'm going to select all the cells, group them, call it the grid, and I'm going to make this aligned like so, and I'm going to send it backwards so it stays below the tab bar here on the bottom. Alright, again, this looks pretty okay. It's very simple. Let's jump to the profile view at last. Okay, the profile, because we want to be trendy, I shouldn't be saying this. Let's do the cover background photo, and then you have the profile picture with your name, you know, like you have on Twitter. So let's create a rectangle for the photo. Facebook calls it cover photo. I don't know what we should call it. Let's make it 300 pixels height. And we have to send it backwards so it stays below the status bar. And that's it. For the placeholder, this works. Okay. And now we want an avatar, the profile picture. Actually, we should make this a little bigger than the 100 pixels that we're using, since it's only one, you know what I mean? So, okay, something like this. Okay. And then, this is good. And then I want a graph, so you can see your progress throughout the days of the week. So right, something like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do a list view, a standard default list view from iOS, and we already have that symbol for it. All right, done. Okay, so before I let you go, and we already have our wireframe ready to go, and there's something that I actually like to point out. So if you're designing for iOS at least, or well, for a touch target app, if you go to the iOS human interface guidelines, you can see that Apple recommends you have a hit target of 44 by 44 points minimum. So that translated is 44 points is 44 pixels on non-retina or 88 pixels on a retina screen. So what they're trying to say is every touch target, would that be a button or anything that you can press, you should have a minimum of 88 by 88 pixels. And you can see they recommend like don't overcrowd in this case like a navigation, so you should give it room and space to breathe. So let's actually make sure our design respects that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle with 88 by 88 pixels, and let's fill it like red or something, make it transparent, something like that. Okay, so now we're going to do it is place it on top of every element that we can tap on, and make sure that we don't have overlapping elements, that every element has the room to breathe. Okay, so I went ahead and I placed the hit target indicator on every tappable element on my design. So we can see, so we have some overlapping here, but this is a scroll view, so I wouldn't worry about that. And actually went ahead and grouped all the hit targets, so you can actually leave it there and just press here on the make it visible or invisible, so it will get you out of the way, So after you tweak this and you feel pretty happy with it, then I would suggest jumping onto the final design, and that means typography and colors and all the little details that it's so fun to work on. So next week we're gonna do just that. So I'll see you then.